I think though it's a little tricky. Like we were talking about club culture yesterday, like just the way people go to the club these days. Because Cloud isn't even really a club; like it's a lounge.
Right.
But guys are still showing up, trying to post up, look cool. You feel me? No one's dancing. I'm like, bro, I've never seen. They was playing classics.
No facts.
And we were the only ones really, you know what I'm saying? Like really, you feel me?
And I think if your dad wasn't in town, we wouldn't have done that on a Sunday night. But like there were niggas out there that were ready to be out there on a Sunday night.
Till 4.
Yeah.
You feel me? Really dressed up and
that shit's open till 4?
I think I don't know, maybe. Low key, maybe. Low key, maybe. I think so. I think places are starting to reopen till 4 now.
Okay, got you. Yeah, everything in Atlanta closes at 2.
Yeah.
Everything.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's so sad.
Yeah, I think 2 is like I think 3 should be like the standard of going out. I feel because niggas don't be getting out until like 11, 12. At least when I sometimes step out.
Dude, I wish places stayed open till sunrise, man. I wish that was the
Yeah.
because when I hear stories of people back in 90s or 2000s or even just like a decade ago, you feel me? It's like, dang, you guys were really clubbing. Like you could really, you know what I'm saying, have a good time. But
no facts.
I don't know. It's starting to get lost, man. It's starting to get lost.
But it was pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you? How are you feeling after last night?
I'm feeling good, man. It's my birthday week, so I'm about to turn 25.
Yep.
I'm happy. I don't think I'm going through a mid-20s crisis.
Right. Yep.
I'm pretty comfortable with who I am at this point. There's things I need to get better at. But,
what are a couple things you think?
I gotta be more. What's the word? Not mature, but I would say like you gotta settle down as you get older. And I still love to club. I still love to party. I'm turning 25, and I don't think that's a problem at 25. Right. But I do gotta channel my energy elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? I find like I love my hobbies. I love doing certain things and having fun. But I'm like, man, there's not really anything where you can just go listen to your favorite music, have a good time without having to necessarily go to the club.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No facts. And I think that's where those house parties start to come in. Like when people start having house parties, I think that'll be really cool. Because it's like, I mean, you can set the vibe of what's going on. You could have like 100 people in there. Some people you might not know, some of your closest friends. But you could just bring in like 15 of your closest friends, have, some drinks, and just vibe out to some good music.
Yeah.
Like low enough to hear everyone talking. So
I agree. And so things like a barbecue, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Things like a get-together, reunion. I think those are things you can do that. So at 25, I'm going to try and channel my energy elsewhere. I think the going out for me does need to slow down a little bit, but other than that, I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at up until this point.
And you're about to break your vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
After how many years?
It's been 5 years I've been vegetarian. Yeah, which is crazy to think about, man. I would have never saw this in my life, me doing this like that. But I guess like for background, it was when I was in Spain. I met this dude. He had alopecia, bro. He was like a nomad. He was bald and stuff. And he would go spurts being vegan. So he put me on to like just trying something new diet-wise. And I noticed when I did the vegan stuff for a little bit, man, my body healed up.
I remember because the main thing that you were doing it for was because of your joints, and when you were hooping still, and you wanted to help your joints.
And so from there, but then when I came back to the States, Chick-fil-A was my go-to meal.
Okay, yeah.
And I would eat that, Patrick, in college, and we would eat it like at 2. I would wake up at 10. I'm so serious. We would eat after class, go to Chick-fil-A at 2 p.m. I would wake up at 10 p.m. Just because I could eat a lot. So I eat 3 sandwiches, 2 fries, a milkshake. Like my go-to order was like 2 sandwiches, 2 fries, milkshake, and like 3-piece tenders on the side. You feel me? Like I was tweaking. So, but I was like, bro, this is no way for me to live. I'm like, I'm gonna flunk out of college, bro. Right, I'm gonna be falling asleep after every meal. Like I'm not gonna be productive. So it was Antoinette, you know Aunt.
Yeah.
She was like, go vegetarian with me 2 weeks. Did that, and the nap stopped. I no longer had the nap. I had more energy. I felt better. And then also my body and my knees were just healing. The inflammation just went down a lot. And so 2 weeks turned into 2 months. And then COVID happened. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep it up. Shout out to the calf. The calf got me right. They were still feeding me like bean burgers and stuff like that.
Were they good? Were the bean burgers
Yeah,
good?
it was good. You feel me? And then I just realized I learned so much about food. Like, food is 90% of food is a texture thing for people. You like a chicken sandwich because when you bite in between the bread, there's something
Crunchy.
right, crunchy and a bit chewy that you can, you know what I'm saying, put the sauce on. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there's a vegetable that does all that, right? But, for example, a bean burger or a veggie patty, depending on the way it's structured, can give you the similar feel of texture to a McChicken. Yeah. And once I learned food was texture, and I got rid of the thinking, you know how you learn like a whole meal, like when you're a kid and they have the plate, it's like this much meat, this much fruit, this much veg. No one eats like that, for real. But I learned like if you get out of your mind like I have to have protein with every meal, you just think like I'm hungry, what flavor do I want? What texture do I want? You can actually get on with it pretty well. So
yeah,
that's turned into 5 years. I felt great these 5 years, and now I'm about to break it, but I think I was telling you and my pops yesterday, it's going to be more of a periodic type thing. Like, if I go out of the country, I'll eat meat. If I'm celebrating a special occasion, I'll eat a steak. I'll eat some chicken, but not much is going to change for me there. So,
what's the meal that you think you're most excited for, and what's the meal that you're gonna break yourself into? Like, what's the first piece of meat that you're gonna eat? Pause. Yeah. That's crazy.
the meal I'm most excited for right now is I love pizza.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't. Yeah. I stopped wanting to eat pork a long time ago, but as you know, pepperoni pizza is it's too good. It's very serious, and so one thing I remember from my childhood: pepperoni and sausage pizza. I fantasize
from where?
Honestly, from Papa John's.
Bro,
no.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
you know it's crazy because me and my friend Vaughn, we had ordered a pizza, and I made the mistake. I was like, "What do you want on the pizza?" I was like, "I'm low-key cool with pepperoni," and he was like, "You want to just get like pepperoni, like a whole bunch of vegetables?" I was like, "Yeah, that's cool,
okay.
Bro." With Papa John's. The less the better. You get just pepperoni. Yeah. That's the most elite pizza.
Thank you.
You don't need more. And you add sausage onto it. Go ahead. But once you start adding all that shit onto it,
you've done too much of Papa John's pizza. It's not meant to have all those toppings.
It's not.
It's not. So that's the meal I fantasize about. But I know if I ate that off rip, double porked up, I'm gonna kill myself. So another meal I've been thinking about lately, I'm like, man, just a Chick-fil-A sandwich, bro. With some Polynesian. I like the deluxe. Give me some lettuce, tomato, my French fries, a milkshake. That's how I'm going to start it off.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do Friday. And I'm geeked, man. I'm geeked.
Were you ever one close to eating meat on accident during your diet?
Oh,
and two, did you eat meat at all? Like, did you end up slipping up and eating
So I think I've had a slip up or two. But when you don't eat meat as long as I have, pause. You feel me? Hey.
That was nuts. That was a generational pause. Fuck up.
When you don't, consume animals as long as I have, that also sounds crazy. You catch the flavor very quickly. Bacon specifically. You know how we had the meal yesterday and it was the guanciale was pork belly?
Yeah.
I was like, had she put that in my food, I would have instantly tasted it.
Bro, it's crazy.
Just from the sauce.
Because I low-key should have got it like you. Because I wasn't fucking with the bacon.
The guanciale. Yeah. And so that is such a strong meat. Something like chicken. Now, chicken can kind of slip a little bit. So I had a meal, pretty much the same meal, but they had chicken in the rigatoni. And I told them no meat in the thing.
And you ate the whole thing?
No, I didn't. Oh. But I was going to take my bites, and I immediately noticed, okay, chicken. But that's something that's going to slip a lot better than bacon. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So I've had some slip ups, but nothing big. Like I'm not one of those guys. Oh, I accidentally ate a steak. Like, bro, you didn't accidentally eat a steak, dude. You knew what you're doing.
Oh my gosh, there's nothing to that magnitude. But one year I was doing fried food for Lent.
Yeah,
and I don't know how this happened, but I was at work back when I worked at Computer Center, and they had given us Chick-fil-A that day.
Right,
and I grabbed a chicken sandwich and just devoured that shit. Like, I ate the whole sandwich, and I'm like, wait, I was not supposed to do that. I just fucked up my whole Lent. But I ended up I kept on going, even though I broke it, but shit like that be happening.
And that's the thing I would tell people when it comes to diets. Like, obviously, we all want to be strict on ourselves, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Even when people are fasting, people will be like, "Oh my gosh, I slipped up. I'm gonna go to hell." I'm like, dude, it's okay. You slipped up. You gave into the temptation. Yeah. Just like you said, you just continued after.
That's the craziest thing. Niggas be like, "Oh, bro, I slipped up. Might as well just start eating meat again, or just might stop fasting." It's like, nigga, just keep on going.
Yeah. And so, like, we had an interesting conversation about like diet and social structure. And when it comes to the slipping up thing, people are like, "Oh, you're vegetarian. Is that meat? What are you eating?" Da-da-da. I'm like, do you know, like, even if I did eat a chicken sandwich, I don't care. You feel me? But like, there's stigmas that come with diets for people. And I actually feel so bad because having been vegetarian so long, I have one of the healthiest relationships with food as far as like, I don't judge people by what they eat. I don't judge people by what they do. I know food is just something that we do. Like, yes, it's for survival, but steak, if you really think about it, steak is not necessarily that good. I've had good steaks, but it's not, to me, I don't see steak as like the craziest meal ever.
I will definitely agree with that.
Yeah, but do you see how much people on social media are making steak?
Oh, yeah.
You would think it's the greatest thing in the world.
You know what also is like that for me, too? Seafood. Like, niggas think a seafood boil is like the fucking greatest meal or food to ever touch mankind.
Yeah, I tell people, I'm like, bro, steak and seafood, you have to drown both in butter for you to even like it. So how good is it actually? But then I tell people it's really a social construct. You eat steak and lobster because it's perceived as wealthy, what wealthy people eat. Yep. If lobster and shrimp used to be what poor people eat, people don't know that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, there was a time where lobster was perceived as a poor person's meal because it's a crustacean. It's the equivalent of a cockroach in water.
They call it the cockroach of the sea, right?
Yeah, but then as they became more rare, right, and rich people accidentally ate it and realized how good it was, they started eating it.
It's so funny, like when you see like a cartoon and they have like the most luxurious buffet. You see, you always see a whole chicken. Yeah. You see a lobster, and you see some kind of like steak or like, you know what I'm saying. It's always that. You know, this is way off topic, but
go ahead.
Whenever it's you and my dad specifically. Whenever I stay over you and my dad's house, I always love staying over because I don't do this in the morning. I don't know why, but I don't ever turn on like First Take or Get Up.
Yeah.
First Take and Get Up is always on, and I think
it's always on when I micro. Yeah.
It's such an underrated way to wake up. Like you get to catch up on stuff because I mean I don't know about you. I'm not watching. We talked about this last pod, but I don't really watch these games as much as I used to growing up. So sometimes I'm not the loop. Yeah. Social media is kind of it would be like in bits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like seeing it because then it'll spark stuff that I'll like topics. I know we were talking about the finals, and last night, drunk, I said the Nuggets without thinking about the Celtics. But the Celtics are the best team in the league, pound for pound, player by player, like on paper. Yeah. And I do think that they're gonna win the finals again. What do you think about that? And who do you think is gonna win the finals?
I think when we watched First Take and Tim Legler was on, I think he just made a great point. They didn't get the NBA's best punch.
And that's facts.
You played Dallas in the finals, and yeah, it's Dallas, but it's a young Luka Doncic. Kyrie's older. Okay. You played the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Jason Tatum was underwhelming in both those series. Jaylen Brown was Finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So you're going to ask him basically to play his ass off again. And you're going to hope Tatum plays better. And then the Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns wasn't on this coast.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah.
The Cavs weren't where the Cavs needed to be. They had some injuries. And so when I look at the East this time, you know what's so underrated where I have to give LeBron so much credit and why I understand people are like, he went to 10 straight finals, Kevin. The credit is the journey sometimes is greater than the goal, right?
Facts.
And having to go through these stacked conferences makes it tough. And the Celtics this time have to do that. And I'm like, okay, let's just say you make it to the NBA Finals. You would have had to beat Cleveland, so you probably would have played 6 or 7 games. You would have had to beat the Knicks, so you probably played 5 games. You would have had to beat who else? There's another team that's good in the East. Who else? There's one.
Let me see.
You would have probably played the 8th seed. So who is that in the East?
Still got, probably like it's always like the Hawks.
You might have had to play the Hawks or even the Bucks. So that's another 6-game series, Pat. And when I think about that, I'm like, by the time you get to the finals, you're not going to be well rested like when you beat the Pacers in 5. You feel me? Gentlemen sweep them. You're going to be that team that had to really fight And then guess who you're going to have to meet? Probably Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
With Jamal Murray, who's just... I've never seen a guy who's so... Jamal Murray, to me, is really conditioned, bro.
He is.
He's constantly running. He kind of plays a Steph style where he's running. Or you're going to have to play coming out of the West.
You got OKC, Memphis.
Oh, you have to play OKC. One of the greatest defensive wing guarding teams I think we've ever seen. If you ask me who could beat the Bulls today, I'll pick OKC. Because the defense those wings play is crazy. They have the guys who can guard a Tatum and a Brown simultaneously.
I think they're just when it comes to the age gap and the experience, it's gonna be tough. Because I think that OKC team, I don't know how well they match up with that Celtics team, just because in a way technically I think that Celtics team is bigger. You would say slightly bigger.
The wings are slightly bigger. The bigs are slightly taller. Like Kristaps's like 7'2".
The guard play is probably stronger in Boston.
The role play, yes.
Well, strength wise, I think Jaylen
Drew
Brown
Holiday,
and Drew Holiday are probably stronger.
Pritchard's a 6-man candidate, yeah.
Well, I'm talking about just pure strength.
Oh, just strength. Yeah, they're strong guards.
No, I definitely understand that. I think it all comes down to the Celtics conditioning, because at least last year they didn't really fuck around with any of the teams that they played, even though they didn't get to play any of those head honcho teams. They really handled business the entire playoffs last year. I think did a game go past 5?
I think they maybe one series went past 5, but I wouldn't even be able to tell you that.
Facts. So
interesting. Okay.
But that's and then we were talking about Tatum. You hate Tatum.
Yeah, I'm not a Tatum. I'm just not a Jason Tatum fan, man. I think he's underwhelming in some of the biggest moments, in my opinion. And, he gets these comparisons to maybe a Kobe or...
that's insane.
Yeah, insert your other favorite wings. He gets those comparisons, but I'm like, there's times where Tatum doesn't even look like the best player on his team. And I hate it. I hate that we punish guys for playing on good teams. But I don't see Tatum ever being the guy that carried his team to the final. I think Tatum is a guy that plays in a system that suits all the players around him. And he is a go-to option, but if he wasn't, there's 2, 3, and 4 that are just as good, if that makes sense.
No, that's facts. I think that's where he thrives the most. And I really do think he is a generational talent. I think he is better, for sure, 100%.
Generational talent meaning
there's not
MVP caliber?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I don't think he'll ever win an MVP in this league.
He could definitely win an MVP. There's not many.
I don't know what season he's going to do that in.
Paul George has been an MVP candidate, and if somebody were to tell me who do you want in their prime, like a prime Paul George or like a prime Tatum, I'm probably going to pick Tatum.
Really?
I'm gonna pick a Tatum.
Let me ask you: if Tatum played on those Pacers back in the day, is he going toe to toe with Bron?
I think he done it. A young Tatum already went toe to toe with Bron, so it's I think he could. Paul George went toe to toe with Bron at a young age.
You're right.
So I think it's for me personally, I think that the whole him being he's corny as fuck. That nigga Tatum really is lame as hell.
Yeah.
So I do think people see that and see the stuff he does off the court and kind of equate it to the stuff that he does on the court. But there's not many. What is he? 6'10", 6'9"?
6'9".
There's not many two-way 6'9" guards that can do everything on offense.
Of his caliber, yeah.
So it's he's fast, he's strong, he's athletic, he can play defense. Sometimes his mental isn't there. Sometimes he disappears.
I agree.
But people forget, Curry disappeared in a lot of those finals series. And that's why, that's where Game 6 Clay came from. But it's people aren't really out here criticizing or asking if Steph's an MVP. People would probably say Steph's an MVP caliber this year. Which that's not far off the truth, but let me see, because I know Basketball Reference, they usually they rank where each player finished in the MVP race every year. I'm curious to see where Tatum.
But I don't like that metric though. You know what I mean? Because it's you almost winning MVP every other year that's okay.
But you said MVP caliber though.
No, I'm talking about can he win an MVP in this league? And I'm I don't think there's a single season he will ever win MVP. As long as Luka Doncic, SGA, Jokic, Giannis, these guys are in the league, to me, I think even the word generational talent gets thrown around a bit loosely. I think generational talent is you got to be in the top 3 of the league at all times. And I think that's what Luka Doncic is. I think he's a generational talent, absolutely.
But I mean,
I don't think SGA is a generational talent.
No.
I don't think he is. I think Giannis is. I think Jokic is. And that's probably my 3 generational talents of today's league, not counting the older guys. Obviously, Bron, KD, and Steph. Those 3 are generational in their own right. But besides, those, like, for example, Jimmy Butler's not a generational talent. He's just a very hard-nosed type of guy. You know what I mean? That plays a certain style. So,
but yeah, I don't know. I think coming to that logic, low-key, Wemby wouldn't be considered. I know he's hurt now, but
I think he is.
But he's not top 3. He's never been.
No, he's gonna be. He's absolutely. He's his second year in the league. I think he's gonna be a part of the new big 3 generational talent of him. Maybe Cooper Flag. I don't think he is necessarily. But I think Wemby is definitely a generational.
100%. But I don't see him being better than Luka or Jokic in any season.
I have him being better because Patrick, what he does both sides of the floor is crazy. Wait, he averages 3 or 4 blocks or something, some crazy.
Yeah, he's doing some crazy shit when it comes to defense. But yeah, that also I wanted to show you that what's it called, that Timothy whatchamacallit? He had the acceptance speech. I think it was like the Actors Guild. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it was the Oscars, but I think it was like the Actors Guild Awards or some shit like that. And I knew you were gonna find this interesting. I watched it this morning.
Oh man, I'm seeing Joel Embiid on the screen.
Oh my gosh, bro!
Dude, the Sixers need to blow that shit up.
No,
there's a lot of teams I think that need to blow that shit up. I'm be honest. I think the Sixers are one of them. Let me think. Oh, Charlotte's one of them.
Yeah,
like I would even trade LaMelo Ball and just start anew. A guy, he also can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. He just doesn't seem like a winner. He just seems like a good guy who can. He's trying to just score a lot of points, a lot of volume shooting. But he's not a winner. Now the Miami Heat, they should stick around with it for a little bit, but they need a 3rd star.
Yeah,
a legit one. Because Andrew Wiggins, I'm like, what is that? I don't.
Because what is Tyler Hero their best player?
Yeah,
or Bam?
I would have said the Lakers pre-AD needed to blow it up.
But they did.
They did, and they got the best thing you could ever get. So shout out the Lakers. Man, there's a lot of teams. I think the Rockets look good. OKC's good. They need to keep that core. Oh, Clippers. I think this should be the last James Harden season. He's having a great season.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it should be the last James Harden season. That blow it up and don't make the same mistake you made when you get your next SGA. Don't trade him for a veteran star. Don't do that BS.
I think it was hard to tell what they were going to get.
It's weird, though, because... Like, I get it. Paul George at that time, coming off an MVP caliber season, a lot of us would make that trade. However, SGA had kind of proven he was pretty damn good already.
Yeah. No, that's facts. Yeah. And it's kind of hard when you look back at it, like, damn, why would you trade SGA?
Yeah.
But you got what you thought you were getting, you know.
Yeah.
That, and you thought you were trading away a decent young star, and now he's the best point guard in the NBA. So, but here's this.
Let's see
Timothy.
it. All right.
If I'm not mistaken, he won for his role in the one he did for Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Ed Norton, that nigga is so good, bro.
Standing up for someone who's not your man's is crazy, though. Leather suit is disgusting.
I think that's what he wore in the movie.
Guess I'm just gonna talk low.
I think. I have no idea.
I'm gonna get this up.
I don't like those ties.
All right, well, thank you. I was not expecting this at all. Truly. I'll start by thanking my mother, who I'm here with tonight. She has been working at Actors Equity for 40 years, the stage union. And I'll quickly run through this. You know, I know the classiest thing would be to downplay the effort that went into this role and how much this means to me, but the truth is, this was 5.5 years of my life. I poured everything I had into playing this incomparable artist, Mr. Bob Dylan. a true American hero, and it was the honor of a lifetime playing him. It's an honor I share with Monica, Elle, Edward, the entire cast who, in a genre, doing a biopic that could be perhaps tired. Everyone gave it their all. So, I'm deeply grateful to them. And lastly, I can't downplay the significance of this award because it means the most to me. And I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is, I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight. I'm as inspired by Daniel Day-Lewis, Marlon Brando, and Viola Davis as I am by Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, and I want to be up there. So I'm deeply grateful for that. This doesn't signify that, but it's a little more fuel, it's a little more ammo to keep going. Thank you so much.
Okay. Actually, that's interesting.
What do you think about that?
I got a few things takeaways I think that are cool from that. He said we're in a subjective business. I'm not of the belief anymore that art is purely subjective anymore. I actually think it's actually very objective.
You think more objective than subjective?
Yeah, I do. I think the subjective piece is actually like the last 10% of it. It's sort of like working out in a way. Workout versus diet. You know what I mean? Like how diet is 90% of your health. But I'll get to that in a second. But I actually like the speech. Because I think, a lot of niggas be fake humble. I hate the fake humble stuff. Like, I really hate the fake humility. And like he said, like, it's the classiest thing to do in a lot of situations. But, like, when you put in a lot of effort for something and you achieve it, it's like, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm the best here. There's no one else who should have beat me today. You feel me? Had I not won this award, it would have looked crazy. Yeah. I'm the best actor in the building, and that's who I want to be. And I'm going to beat all of you guys. And I appreciate this, actually. So I need to watch. What he wanted for what? Pursuit of Greatness? A biopic?
Yeah, this was a biopic of Bob Dylan.
Who's Bob Dylan again?
He's a country artist, I believe.
Okay.
Let me double check. But yeah, he's one of the one of them greats for real. One of the great artists.
He didn't win. He didn't win one for Dune.
See, that comes up. That's nominated for
2026.
Well, no, that's for the Emmys this year.
Oh.
I think this is the
Grammys, Oscars.
I don't know what this is, but it's not.
What's the difference?
The Screen Actors Guild Awards.
Oh, sad. Okay, what is the difference between all these shits? Because there's
Oscars. So
Oscars is what?
Oscars is for movies. The Tonys, I believe, are for plays.
Okay, don't care about that.
And Emmys are for TV.
Television. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's why when people say the EGOT award, it's I forget. I think
if you've won an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony.
Yeah, there's a couple EGOT winners.
Now, what's Grammy? Music, yeah?
Music, just
and
music.
Poetry. It has to be poetry. Because Kobe Bryant won a Grammy or an Oscar?
Kobe Bryant, I think Kobe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Kobe's an EGOT, but...
No, he won something, though.
He did.
Saying he won a Grammy. He won something for his poetry.
He won an Emmy for that movie, that short film that he made.
Okay. Which no one's seen, by the way. Who the fuck, what is it?
It's pretty good, bro. It's
No, rest in peace, Kobe. That sounds crazy, but...
It was a movie about, like, it's an animated movie, where he won an Emmy. So it was an Emmy about, like, it was a movie about, like, this kid wanting to play basketball and, like, having, like, it's actually pretty good. You should watch it. It's pretty good. It's like 5 minutes, I think.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's like 5 minutes. It might be big and longer.
He won an Emmy for a short film where he talked about a kid wanting to play basketball.
It was animated, bro.
Jail time. Straight to jail, bro. That's like that Spider-Man animated movie that all y'all loved. And
you know what's crazy?
Won every single award. Jail time.
I love that movie, but I don't think
the greatest movie of the year.
People will say that's like that's the greatest
Spider-Man ever. And I'm like, bro, what is going on in this world? There's nothing animated. Respect to animation. I love a lot of animated stuff. I love the Disney movies. I really do. But there's no animated anything that tops any real life movie for me. Like, if you compare...
Are you talking about anything animated versus
so you
anything?
can take all the Pixar BS and Nemo, and if you start putting that against the greatest films where there's real people, to me, I think it has nothing on it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just... like,
Toy Story 2 rivals... Toy Story 2 can rival a lot of these great movies.
And 100%. I love Toy Story 2. It's probably the greatest animated film ever. But I'm like, yo, pull up... I would rather watch a Casino, as crazy as that sounds, or even... So he acted in Dune. Like, take a movie like... okay, a great comparison to Dune is Star Wars. Okay, Star Wars was one of the craziest things that ever came out.
Yeah.
Both because it's basically a three-peat because it's 3 and 3. Shout out MJ. So the 3 that came out early and the 3 that came out in the 2000s. Have you watched Star Wars, by the way?
I watched like halfway through.
Pat, what do you mean halfway through the series?
Yeah, halfway through the series.
Did you start from the back or the front?
I actually
Pause.
started.
Yeah,
I started from. I started in chronological order, so I didn't watch it in like the order that it's supposed to be meant to watch. And I watched it like from the first movie that came out to the second.
Technically, I would argue that's technically how you should watch it.
Really?
Actually, no, you're right.
Because
you should watch it. You should watch it.
Liam Neeson's is the first movie.
You're right.
In the series.
You're right.
So people were telling me, I don't know. I forget.
You should watch the ones that came out in the 2000s first, low key, and then watch the old ones. That came out because actually it's reversed because Darth Vader's in the.
Darth Vader's in the one that's made the first one.
Exactly.
The first
so
one.
You should low key. Oh, so I'm okay. I'm getting confused, but I think Star Wars is a great comparison to Dune, and I would watch Star Wars 100 times over before I say that anything animated is better than a movie like Star Wars or Dune, because I think when you talk about the dynamic movies with people, I just think that's way better than Finding Nemo.
I don't know, bro, but you got to think about this. When you act in a regular movie, like when there's regular people, you're performing in front of somebody, so you're bouncing energy off of somebody.
Yeah.
In an animated film, you're in a booth reading off of a script.
Yeah.
No energy being bounced off.
Yeah.
You can't see facial expressions.
Yeah.
You have to make the facial expressions with your voice. So when you want to talk about dynamic, I think being a voice actor is so much harder than being a great actor, like a real actor, but it definitely takes a lot more work and effort to be a great voice actor than to be just like a regular screen actor.
Yeah, the difficulty is definitely there. I just will always prefer in-person films. Personally.
No, that's facts. But there are definitely animated movies that are greater.
Yeah, OD.
100%.
Like Nemo is probably greater than. That's tough for me to say. Probably greater than 60% of films that are in person.
Probably.
People
80.
would probably say more. Yeah, people would probably 80 or 90. But I'm like, I love in-person films. I love watching people.
That's facts.
Like, cause I'm a big Family Guy dude. I love Family Guy. But at the same time, I'm like, I'll probably watch some of the in-person family joints before I watch family. If I had to trade one for the rest of my life, so that's interesting. But Timothée Chalamet, I gotta watch Dune.
You have to watch Dune too.
I gotta watch Dune.
Dune. You should probably watch them both when you have time. Watch them both back to back.
Yeah.
Dune 1 is a setup for Dune 2, so Dune 1 is gonna be slower. Like it's like a slow movie because it's just like a setup. There's not much action.
That's like The Godfather, yeah.
But Dune 2, I'm telling you, bro, is really one of them ones. And you go like, you'll take back what you said about Star Wars, that you want to watch it 100 times over before you watch Dune. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it, bro.
Okay, you also gotta watch Star Wars for me, all of it.
Facts, but you haven't watched any Dune. I've at least watched Star Wars. Yeah, but
you watched half of one Star Wars.
No, I watched 3, so half of the series.
So the ones with Samuel L. Jackson?
No, I watched.
So you watched the old ones?
I watched all the old ones.
You watched all the old ones.
Young Luke.
Okay, right. Let me know. Okay, that's fair. So you watched half of it. Okay,
so I watched 3.
I'm interested when you watch the next 3, and then I will watch some of Dune, and I will let you know.
So I gotta watch the next 3, and then you can only watch some of Dune. You're gonna.
Watch I watch all of Dune. I'm saying I watch all of Dune, and actually another thing I would probably have, because there's Star Trek, right? I don't like Star Trek.
I've never watched Star Trek.
Then there's also Harry Potter. So I'm talking about movies based on books.
Yeah.
I'm like, Harry Potter, Voldemort, that shit is OD. I'm like, I don't think Dune is. Before I've watched it, I'm saying right now, I don't think Dune is gonna be better than Star Wars or Harry Potter in my opinion.
Well. And so, like, the first Harry Potter, I forget which is. I think that's the Sorcerer's Stone or some shit.
Yeah.
That one was good. The second one was god-awful. The second Harry Potter is cheeks. The third one, I didn't get to finish. So I watched the first 2, and then I watched, like, the beginning of Sirius Black, Prisoners of Azkaban or some shit like that. And then I didn't finish the rest. But you're gonna be like, Pat. Like, there's the way Timothy, he plays a character named Paul Atreides, and just like how I remembered his name, you're gonna remember Paul Atreides, bro. You're gonna see Timothy, and you're gonna think about Paul Atreides. because he really like he's that's the role that transforms like someone's careers and puts them into that like okay he can be the next like De Niro, DiCaprio, bro. Like sure. That's
he has this. I'm not a big fan of these, and I guess it's funny me saying that after saying Harry Potter and Star Wars is dope, but like like these like super. I'm not gonna say superhero, but these big hero actors, I'm sort of phasing out of that stuff as I get older. So like a good example is like Avengers. You feel me? All these niggas are heroes. They're all supposed to be good guys, and they're gonna win eventually. That's kind of what I'm seeing with Dune as well.
You see, but that's the thing.
I'm saying, oh,
you gotta watch
okay,
it because
here we go, another good guy. Look at him. You feel me? He's not gonna play no gangster in a movie where he's the bad guy. All his movies are gonna be him being the good guy, and you know what I'm saying. I feel like I gotta watch it. You're right. And then Zendaya's in them. Oh my gosh, Pat.
Zendaya to me is definitely well. In a lot of her stuff, she's overrated. But you should watch this movie called Challengers. She's nice. Very.
Is that where she's fucking the white dudes, bro? The tennis.
It's bro. You talking about the preview? Yeah, bro. That's a preview, and that's one of the, well, that's not one of the reasons I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But it's more than that, bro.
I saw that. I'm like every movie Zendaya is in, except actually there is one where she's dating a black guy. But almost every movie that she's in, she's with a white dude in every single movie. Some version of Tom Holland in the movie, bro. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think some of Zendaya's work, in my opinion, is overrated.
For sure.
I think and that's why I was telling you my conspiracy theory, just with entertainment in general. I just feel like sometimes there's guys they be handing the keys to. They come about like his mom worked for the what is it, Actors whatever Equity whatever for 40 years. There's some kids that come about that they're like, okay, we put Zendaya through the Disney. We're going to get her in this movie, throw her in the Avengers and Spider-Man, hand her the keys. Tom Holland come around. Okay, we're going to make him the new Spider-Man, and then we're going to throw him in Indiana Jones, and then he's going to do all these
other... He's in Indiana Jones?
He's in the Indiana Jones joint. Yeah, it's like an Indiana... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
That's crazy.
I think so, yeah. With Tom Holland?
I know, though, they just did that last one with, that nigga Harrison Ford or whatever.
Tom Holland...
No, he's not in there. Indiana Jones.
What's the movie that came out with him in the woods or him in the doing the adventure?
You talking about?
I thought that was Indiana Jones.
Is that Max Payne?
No, I don't think it's Max Payne. It's like if you just search up Tom Holland adventure movie.
Damn, they don't got shit. Or like, oh, you talking about Uncharted?
Yeah, Uncharted. I thought that was Indiana Jones.
Mm-mm.
I'm tweaking. Mm-mm. Okay, well, because he's a British dude, isn't he? Tom Holland.
He's Nathan Drake in the movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Tom Holland. But no, I do think.
Yeah,
it is like you said. His mom was in the Actors Equity,
and I'm not shitting on him for that.
But I think there's certain guys that like we were talking about nepotism. We were talking about Bronny's nepotism. Right. I do think nepotism is justified when someone's nice. If someone is like that, he's like that for sure. You know, Bronny is that's questionable. That's a whole other thing. But
yeah,
this is like if he had nepotism to get in to where he's at. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I'm not mad at the nepotism. I just feel like sometimes we're forced for consumption. You feel me?
For sure, yeah.
I think even music industry, like certain artists come about and they're like, this is who we're going to give the stuff to before they even, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I guess my whole thing with some of the, like, the art today is like, and I'm not saying these people haven't proven themselves. Like, I know they have movies prior to this. They take the acting school and stuff like that. But I just don't really ever feel like there's a gradual buildup anymore when it comes to superstars.
Yeah.
I just feel like someone just pops up on the scene and you just see them in everything. Like Jonathan Majors, bro. I was like, oh yeah, that nigga came out of
nowhere.
The dude was at every single movie, 15 straight movies. I'm like, bro. I don't want to watch every movie be a Jonathan Majors movie. You know what I'm saying?
That boy was so tough, bro.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan, he's been cooking for a very long time, so I can't discredit him because he was in The Wire back when he was like young.
Yo.
And Idris Elba, like I think I would use those guys as better examples because I'm like Idris Elba, for example. You really saw a build up in his career, in my opinion. I never felt like Idris Elba was forced into every single role. And maybe it's because artists and the way the agents work, they try to get them in as much stuff as possible to make you a household name. But I think that's actually negative sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I think these studios, they see what sells, and then they just
repeat.
They just go with it.
Yeah,
so they know it's gonna work.
Yeah,
it's not more about as much as about the art anymore.
Yeah.
It's more about how much money can we make in the box office. That's why Dwayne The Rock Johnson is in every fucking movie.
Jeez. You know what era of movies I tell people I love the most?
What?
And people always laugh at me, and I'm like, it was a really bad era for movies, but it was a time where there was just so much diversity in the spread of who was acting in a film. Like, I tell people, literally the years between 2013 and 2017 was my favorite time to watch movies growing up.
Those were great times.
Yeah, because the movies could be shitty, but it wasn't, this nigga's gonna be in 15 films this year. You feel me? I could go watch Tupac's biopic that came out right along with Kevin Hart and Ice Cube. I could go watch, there was an Avengers, I guess, coming out, but it was like every single damn year. That was when Avengers...
No, they had those. That's when the Avengers was going every year.
Oh, really? Was it coming every year?
But that, I mean, it was still phenomenal.
But that's when they were even still dropping the separate movies where you would still just get an Iron Man. You feel me? And you just get a Batman. And like, they've tried to do it recently because now they're starting to resource the actors and pull in new people. But I just felt like the spread of movies, and then you would go watch an indie film, like just a random independent film that was just off the chain. You were like, damn, man, that's a good ass film. Then the scary movies were really, really good. So I just love the different spread. I feel like now it's like they're force feeding us a few movies a year from a few actors that they select that are going to be the next joints from a few writers, if that makes sense. And then the indie film stuff is sort of going out the window unless it's a scary movie film.
I mean, they got some like nowadays, like the ones that are nominated for a Grammy, they're pretty diverse, bro. Like, I'm
hip. But like, have you watched those films? Are those films in theaters?
Yeah, I've watched. I have watched. Let me see. Did I say a Grammy? I meant an Emmy, or not an Oscar. Jesus.
Yeah, Grammy's music.
Yeah, for music. Yeah. Let me see. But yeah, I've watched. I'm pretty sure I've watched 4 out of the 8, so I have. Let me see. So I've watched Anora, great. Conclave, great. Dune 2 was great. I heard Amelia Perez's ass, but I haven't watched A Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez. I'm still hearing Nickel Boys. But like, this is Timothy Chalamet, but I don't think you would necessarily, and Timothy Chalamet's in 2 actually.
Patrick, you feel me? He's in 2 movies.
But, bro, I'm telling you,
my nigga. That's crazy.
Have you watched it? Have you watched Timothy? Have you watched?
No, I haven't.
See, that's the thing.
I haven't.
So you don't even know.
No, I need to go. I need to go. I watched I watched the trailers for Dune because the trailers are long. The movies are long and the trailers are long. So I watched the trailers of Dune 1 and 2.
You gotta stop watching trailers, bro.
I love watching trailers. Why? Trailers is one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite things I look forward to in movie theaters.
Really?
Yeah, because I love how it leaves me on a cliffhanger, wanting to see the film. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes they just be showing the whole movie.
They do. Sometimes they reveal. Yeah, some trailers some trailers are bad, but I need to go to the movie theater more. I just haven't found the same excitement, and I've been left underwhelmed at times when I do go.
Yeah.
Like the one movie I went to movies to see that I was so excited for. It was the movie Don't Smile 2.
Oh, Smile 2.
Yes,
I
was very excited to see Smile 2. I thought they were going to take it in a completely new direction.
Yep.
They did not, and it just was so underwhelming for me. Versus Smile 1 and Barbarian. Oh my God! Did you ever watch Barbarian? Barbarian was one of my favorite films I ever watched ever.
In theater,
as far as in theater. Mm-hmm. It was just so great. Man, there was a little period where the scary movies were just coming out, and we were watching them. But
what do you think the best movie you watched in theaters was? Like, what's like the best experience you've had watching a movie in theaters?
Oh, bro, I'm glad you said that. I think I went and watched All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, bro. Wow.
That movie was life-changing.
No, that movie is
insane.
It shows you more deeper into the whole war scene.
Yeah, probably one of the best illustrations of war you ever get in your life.
You gotta watch. Yeah. We should watch it together, low key. It's called Come and See Me. It's a movie, or it's Come and See or something like that. But it's a movie it's a war movie.
Yeah.
But it's about a kid in the war, and the kid had to go through, I believe, 3 months of therapy before the movie because what they did on the set, they didn't fake anything. So it was real planes, real bombs, real gunshots, like real everything. And they said after the movie, the kid was just left